Speed Freaks is so good. The alpha is out right now on Steam and is available to everyone for the low price of free. Download it, play it, do it now. If you're an Orc fan and love to go fast, then this game is a love letter to you all. I'm not even an Orc fan, and this game had me going full warg as a proper Orc game should. The vehicles comprise of the entire Orc miniature lineup, and they did an absolutely amazing job bringing these war wagons, buggies, and trucks to life. The way they sound, the abilities that each vehicle has, the way they animate, all is amazing. The looted wagon fires a grot rocket, where the grot guides the missile to an unsuspecting target, all Doctor Strangelove style. The Death Killer War Trike can hook itself to a target to pull itself closer for some sweet melee action. And the Grot Wagon has a catapult in its front that launches enemy vehicles into the stratosphere. And there's so much more! The only Orc buggy that seems to be missing is the Megatrack Scrapjet, but I assume that will come with DLC and stuff. And the speed! That alone would turn any loyalist Imperial citizen into a digger knobs, just so they can participate in the race. The movement and controls have a bit of a steep learning curve, and it took me around 2 hours to get a handle of it. The buggies are way too fast, which is a good thing, but it makes aiming, shooting, and driving very difficult, even in this wide open maps. Half the time you get stuck on a wall because your eyes were on the enemy and not on the road, and then you get dogpiled into oblivion. But once you do get a hang of it, the game really opens up. I can tell just from playing it for one day that controlling your car has a very high skill ceiling, and once people start mastering it, they will start pulling off some Rocket League level stuff. And I can't believe this is the alpha version. In 4 hours of playtime, the game only crashed once. This is by far the most polished alpha I have ever played. The only issue is that matchmaking is fast but full of bots, as people enter and exit the game pretty fast. I don't blame them. Online matches are very overwhelming in the beginning. I recommend playing a private match against bots first before going online. Right now there's only one battle type, which is a combination of capture point and a race. You capture all the points and then race to the finish line. The first 5 finishing positions award extra points to the corresponding team, so it has a very unique take on the capture point system. Maps are massive and absolutely gorgeous, with plenty of cover, uneven terrain, and jumping points to allow a lot of freedom of movement and open up multiple ways of approaching a fight. The vehicles are divided into 2 categories, heavy and light. Other than speed and health, the main distinguishing factor is the universal F ability. I just call it the F ability because I play on the keyboard and I don't know what it's called on a gamepad. So for my purposes, it's the F ability. But all vehicles have it. Light vehicle F ability allows them to dash in the direction the camera is facing. It's kind of funny seeing car dash sideways, but that is definitely something Orcs would put in their vehicles, and it creates room for some very cool game dynamics. It's on a very short cooldown and for good reason. Without it, light vehicles have no chance against the heavier ones. Its best use is when you run into a bad situation, which happens a lot, or when you will eventually slam into a wall. It is actually faster to aim away from the wall and hit the F key than to reverse your way out. The heavy vehicle's F ability is a repair ability with a long cooldown. If you are new to the game, I recommend using either of the heavy vehicles to get familiar with the game mechanics. They're easy to use, very tanky, and have some of the most impressive firepower, in the game. Once you have picked a vehicle, I recommend the first thing you do is check its firing arc. That is the main way the vehicles are balanced in this game. Each vehicle has a unique firing arc. The Dragster can only shoot to its left side and front. That's how they balance its homing missile ability. The Grot Wagon has a 360 firing arc, but can only shoot one of its guns when aiming at the rear, 2 when aiming at the sides, and everything when aiming ahead. The frontal Daka is truly terrifying. So if you have a lighter vehicle and you come across one of these behemoths, you would want to maneuver behind it and attack it in the rear. It is best to assume that every vehicle's best damage output is from the front. So your goal is to always keep your enemies in front of you while keeping yourself in their rear. This creates a very interesting gameplay dynamic. The game feels more akin to a game of tag where you're constantly trying to use the environment to outmaneuver the opponent. Some of my favorite moments in the game were getting chased by multiple opponents and simply outdriving them. That is a mark of a good game design, when even being in a bad position with 2 enemies on your tail, you are still having fun. I'm not going to go into details about individual vehicles because this is still the alpha and all their abilities and balance is going to change. But I am absolutely in love with the Deathkiller War Trike. If you have been following my channel, you know I'm a big fan of glorious melee. You can give me a shooting game and I will go with a melee build. That is how much I love melee. So when I saw this game had a melee vehicle, I didn't need to look further. Since this game so often turns into a cat and mouse chase, being able to hook yourself to an enemy to close the distance and eviscerate them just feels right. I hope the Trikes makes it into the final version as is because I am in love. The game is doing a lot of things right, but there is one flaw, and it's a pretty damn big one. When your WWWWWAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAA throne. How dare you release an orc game without a loud and resounding WAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAA It's the most garbage Dawn of War title ever. But they did the walk right. Just rip that, slap it into your game until you figure something out. Until then, 0 out of 10. Jokes aside, this game has a lot of good things going for it. And the only real feedback I have is that in order to make this game go from great to god tier, y'all need one thing: content. Lots and lots of content. Usually that would mean cosmetics, skins, and vehicle customization. But I don't think they will be able to add vehicle customization features into this game. Games Workshop is very protective of their IP, and they use these video games the same way as G.I. Joe cartoons were used to sell action figures. They won't want people making vehicles that they can't purchase in their brick and mortar stores. The most we will probably get is like a boss pole and a few trophies. But they can add vehicles from other races. Crumping other orcs is fun and all, but for it to be a right and proper walk requires a proper stomping of the other 40k races. Imagine a Falcon Grave tank in this. That would be so sick! No, forget that. League of Votann. They are the new kid on the block and have vehicles that match the orc vehicle categories. They have something similar to a trike, they have their own version of a buggy, and they have a sick heavy vehicle that will fit perfectly into this game. They are the new, old race, and I would love to see some limelight shined on them. No, scrap all of that. 2 words. White Scars. This is the game for them. They are the most underrepresented of all first founding chapters across all forms of Game Workshop media. They are the speed freaks of the Imperium. This game would be a perfect debut for them outside of Black Library. They deserve it. They need this. They must have this. They could use the assault bike as it is similar to the trike, and the Land Raider would fulfill the heavy vehicle role. And for the buggy category, what would fill the buggy role? Not you. Land Speeder? Not you either. But yeah, White Scars would be so amazing in this game. What? No, why would the name of my channel have anything to do with my support for the White Scars? How dare you all imply my opinion is biased? So yeah, devs, if you're watching this, listen. I know you all set out to make an orc game, but I am begging you to add other races as well. This game has really good potential. I played this game until my fingers started hurting, and I haven't played a game like that in years. And it's only the alpha version. I can see that I can find an audience even beyond the 40k fan base because it's ridiculously fun. But the fan base beyond 40k, especially in a PvP only game, is very content hungry. However, if you can provide them with a steady stream of content like new vehicles, races, race courses, skins, accessories, etc., it will be a smash hit. So please, please add other races to it. Please. Also, the hell y'all doing still watching this video when you could be playing this game? Go on, you lazy gits, and join the war! Peace.